Hey, it's Terry Gorry, and this is the Irish Law and Small Business podcast. In this case, or in this video rather, I want to just discuss a case there that I came across the other day. WRC case involves a veterinary surgery receptionist. She claimed that she was reported, or she was sacked rather, from her job. She was a part-time receptionist for reporting suspicions of theft by a colleague. She was branded a fantasist. She's won compensation of €15,600. That may not seem like a huge amount of money, but it's a significant amount of money insofar as she was only a part-time receptionist. Therefore, her ordinary weekly wage or ordinary salary would have been relatively small, and the €15,600 represents 18 months' wages. And the maximum that can be awarded for the unfair dismissal claim would be 2 years' wages. So this girl won 15,600, she won 18 months, which was a very good result for her. But the point I want to make to you about the video, about the case rather, in the video, is the employer and what the employer did. Background to the case, and we'll get onto that in a minute, and you'll get a lesson, if you're an employer, certainly how to respond or deal with WRC claims. But you can't bury your head in the sand. And in this case, anyway, the background was she found her colleague putting cash from the sale of animal medication in his own wallet. Her employer then, when she reported it, told her there was nothing he could do because he could not find a replacement vet. The tribunal the WRC awarded 1.5 years' salary to the part-time worker after finding it most probable, in the absence of contradictory evidence from the employer, that she had been sacked for reporting her suspicions to her employer. The key phrase there is in the absence of contradictory evidence from the employer, because the employer didn't go to the hearing. I will get to that in a minute. The receptionist said that shortly after she was first hired in August 21 to work at the desk in a satellite clinic to her employer's main practice in a large town, she was told there had been difficulties in the past about cash going missing. She discovered that the till was short on a date the following month and immediately phoned her employer about it, knowing the only other person with access was the vet in the clinic, and she feared that she might be held responsible. The following day, she said her colleague at the satellite clinic had completely changed in his attitude towards her, and he told her the main office don't need to know about everything that's going on. Later, she noticed that the clinic's stocks of animal medication were going off the shelf too quickly, and she suggested her employer do a stock take. He agreed to do that. Her vet colleague, however, said she was looking for trouble. Then in December 2021, the receptionist said she caught the vet selling animal medicine to a customer and putting the cash in his own wallet. The medicine was worth 60 or 70 euros, but only a tenner from the sale went into the till. The receptionist told the WRC that when she challenged the vet, he said he was just getting change, before taking 50 euros out of his wallet and throwing it towards her, as he said, "You don't know the amount of shit you just got yourself into." The complainant told the WRC she knew there was enough change in the till that day and went outside to report what she termed obvious suspicious behaviour to her employer. Her employer told her he knew what was happening, but there was nothing he could do because he couldn't get a replacement vet. They were very hard to find in that area. And her employer probably took the view that whatever might have been going on was actually tolerable insofar as it would have been a bigger headache just to get a replacement vet. After that, the complainant said the vet knew she had reported him and he became very aggressive and unpleasant in the workplace, which became hostile for her. At one point, the complainant said she became upset at work and the vet told her, "Go outside and cry, little girl." The complainant said she was told by phone on New Year's Eve by her employer that it wasn't going to work out between her and the vet and that the complainant would have to get a new job. The adjudication officer, Emily Daly, in this case noted the employer had come to a hearing in November 2022 when the matter had been adjourned for submissions, and so the respondent could take legal advice. And this is important. The employer had gone to a hearing in November 2022. Miss Daly then, the adjudication officer, wrote that she had phoned the respondent directly to check whether he would be attending the hearing, in other words the later hearing, the one that had been adjourned, advising him that written statements he had sent to the tribunal could not be accepted as evidence. That's very important. He had made written submissions to the tribunal, to the WRC, but the adjudicator said that they could not be accepted as evidence because he would have to go along and give the evidence. And remember, if you're giving evidence, you're going to leave yourself open to cross-examination and having the evidence tested. The employer said that he was too busy to attend, but did not look for an adjournment, Miss Daly wrote, telling her he just wanted the matter to be over with. This is absolutely critical. The employer made a decision not to bother going to attend the WRC hearing. He just wanted it over with, and he didn't look for an adjournment. The adjudicator said that this was regrettable, but that she'd have to go ahead with the hearing in his absence. She wrote that the receptionist uncontested evidence, remember, had proven uncontested evidence. It was uncontested because the boss man, the employer, wasn't there. Had proven on the balance of probabilities that she made a protected disclosure of a reasonably held suspicion of wrongdoing, that is, theft. I'm satisfied that had she not made this protected disclosure to the respondent, it's probable that she would not have been dismissed. She based this finding on how close in time the allegation had been to the dismissal. She awarded the receptionist, who had worked at the clinic for only 5 months, €15,600, a sum equivalent to 1.5 years' wages for a 2-day week. She also awarded a further €1,380 for breaches of the Organisation of Working Time Act and failure to provide a written contract. It brought the total compensation awarded in the case to €16,980. Bear in mind that this receptionist was part-time. She worked at the clinic only for 5 months. She worked only for a 2-day week, and she's been awarded €16,980 in total. And remember, the employer here, the vet, decided that he was too busy to attend. But the important thing to recognise is that even though he had sent in letters or submissions or something of that nature, the adjudicator pointed out that that could not be held as evidence. And the reason it couldn't be held as evidence is because you must go to the WRC and engage in the hearing if you're going to give evidence, and you must leave yourself open to having that evidence tested. Hope you find this video useful. If you do, I would appreciate if you gave it the thumbs up down below. Thanks a lot.